Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Recruiting Podcast. I'm Alex Rojas, your talent advisor and host. And in today's episode, it's all about recruiters are back in demand again. I'm going to give you in this episode 3 reasons on why to expect a hiring surge in 2025. So this is going to be a good one because over the last couple of months, I've been pretty consistent about posting why I'm starting to see a trend heading in the right direction for us recruiters when it comes to hiring again. Now, you want to look at the raw data. And so I'm very clear and concise when I track the data that shows how many jobs are actually posted and available for talent acquisition positions. And so if you look at LinkedIn, it is showing just a slight downtick to where it was in the beginning of November. But if you look at Indeed, it continues to demonstrate a little bit more growth when it comes to the jobs that are available within TA. And so really what we're looking at is we're looking at a double count comparable to LinkedIn. Indeed right now is coming in at 8,000 job openings within talent acquisition. So the other thing that I've also been really advocating here for is that you have to see tangible evidence that there is actually a change happening. And by that, I mean, over the last 2 years, there was a period of time where you as a recruiter, you looked around at your colleagues, your coworkers, your friends, family members that were within talent acquisition, and nobody was getting hired. Recruiters were getting laid off. They were in between assignments. They were applying for dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of positions, still looking for opportunities. That was tangible proof. The flip side of that, as far as tangible proof goes, is the celebrations that are taking place. And so within my network, I've grown my talent acquisition network to include everybody, whether you're a sourcer or full life cycle recruiter, a TA leader, a manager, director, a VP level. That is my network. And what I've been seeing consistently for the last couple of months on a daily basis is a lot of celebrations. Recruiters saying they're going to a new company, starting a new job, a new role. And these are small, mid, large, and enterprise organizations. So to me, that is tangible evidence that hiring is back. And so these announcements, I believe, are still going to continue to happen. And so that's what this episode's all about. Stick around for my closing commentary, and I'm going to show you what to expect when it comes to 2025. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Let's discuss. Okay, so let's dive into this. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why we should be expecting a surge when it comes to hiring. So the first reason is that there is job growth expectations in 2025. And there's already been some articles that have already come out that you can go ahead and research that are indicating, based on what corporate America is reporting, that there is going to be between a 4 to 5% increase when it comes to hiring over 2025. What that translates into is about $10 billion dumped into the marketplace. And that's the forecast. Now, what constitutes this? Why is there an expectation that this is going to happen? Because we are actually going through an economic recovery. That's right. We are cooling off from inflation. The rate cuts have been going down, and we just got through a new presidential election, new leadership. The markets are responding and reacting in a positive way. These are all, again, indications that demonstrate that there are growth expectations when it comes to hiring in 2025. Now, the second reason why we want to go ahead and look at this and why there might be a surge is that there is a shift in hiring trends, specifically when we're looking at Q2 and Q3. That's going to demonstrate an aggressive growth projection based on what the reports are when you go through these periodicals and you look at some of the articles that are out there right now. Companies are being advised to start hiring hiring process now, not to avoid waiting until Q1, Q2 before you pull the trigger, because there is going to be a surge. And whenever there is a surge, that means there's competition for talent. And that's when the heavy race for talent becomes to surface. And so the other thing too, also to consider that's going to make this a little bit more unique than maybe some of the other surges that we've experienced over the last couple of decades, is that this is going to be skilled-based hiring. So there's going to be niche type of skills that a lot of companies are going to be targeting. And we know a lot of those niche skills are going to be artificial intelligence, AI related. And then finally, the third reason why we should expect a surge in 2025 is that the cyclical patterns of recruiting demand is happening right now. So we have gone through an 18 to 24 month downturn. We've experienced that within our industry. And so typically when there's a long period of downturn, especially going over a robust period of time like we have experienced, then what is the expectation? It's going to turn upward. And we see this in the stock market, with bear and bull markets. But more specifically, we've, as a talent acquisition community, we've experienced this in the .com bust in the 2000s. We had it during the Great Recession in the 2008 time period, and more recently during the COVID pandemic downturn in 2020, when we actually had that surge coming out of 2021. And so these are all indications, these three areas right here are strong indications why we should be optimistic as a talent acquisition community to expect hiring to return, more recruiters can get hired again. It's going to give you different options and different avenues and different possibilities heading into 2025. Okay, it's closing commentary mindset time. And so we have been waiting for this. Recruiters have been waiting very patiently or anxiously now for almost 2 years, because the truth of the matter is that you're always going to have people that are going to be optimistic, who have weathered the storm, have kept their jobs, have been flying under the radar. And for all those recruiters that have been in a place where you have security and stability, good for you. But there have been so many recruiters that have been affected by this downturn. And so rightly so, they are still disgruntled, they're hurt, they're leery, they're angry, and resentful. So it might take them a little bit to kind of get to a place of being optimistic or looking or even believing that there might be a possible surge in the marketplace when it comes to talent acquisition. So now I've also tried my best to help recruiters that are looking for opportunities. And I really believe in the facilitation process and providing some guidance in there. And so I have had recruiters that have definitely embraced that. And I've also had recruiters that really haven't done their fair share of work that's required to go after and chase some of these leads that are out there. So we are entering a recovery period. And so what that means is that businesses are gaining confidence once again. And when that happens, that means there's more capital is going to be unlocked for investment in workforce growth. And so whenever there's workforce growth, that means there's hiring. And guess what? Recruiters get to get hired again to go ahead and push all of that hiring growth that's expected. Now, the talent acquisition teams that are smart are going to be the ones that are actually anticipating this, and now they're building and preparing their business to develop some of these pipelines, as talent pipelines, in anticipation for some of this growth that is going to be happening. And I've mentioned this to you before. If there's one area you as a recruiter need to embrace, it has to do with AI. Artificial intelligence must be a tool, a technology, a methodology, whatever it is. You need to be in a better position to embrace that, because the theme of this surge that's going to happen in 2025 is really going to be about new skill development. There are going to be niche skills that are going to be hired. That means the talent is going to have a certain expectation of understanding AI, and that's going to also include you as a recruiter. So continue to research, to invest, to participate in demos, look at some of the tools. If you have some of the tools, become a super user in that area, position yourself, because ultimately what this is all about is you as a recruiter need to be prepared to increase your productivity, your efficiency, your quickness has to be very fluid, and you need to be able to seek candidates' attention at a much higher rate. This is a must. I hope this episode was informative, please remember to like, to subscribe, to comment, and to share. It's helping the podcast grow, especially as we end 2025. And remember, until next time, it's all about the mindset.